What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the 13th of January 2015. Although it might not be that date when I upload this video. I want to talk to you about something that's very weird. And no, it isn't me. Although I am quite weird. And again, we're all weird, but that's another matter entirely. I want to talk to you about something that maybe we all would take for granted if we didn't really know about it, and that is milk. I'd like to talk to you today about milk. Yes, the wet stuff that comes out of cows. Milk, yes, milk. It seems that in England at the moment, the price of milk is so low, lower than it's ever been before. It's like about 25 pence for a pint of milk now. Which is, brilliant news for consumers. People go out and buy it, it's like, ooh, 25p for a pint of milk, ooh, But it's not so good for the dairy farmers. People who actually produce the milk. The people that spend ages getting it out of the cows in the first place before it even goes off to be, fucked around with in the dairies. Because the price of milk is so cheap and so low, dairy farmers aren't earning enough money off it to keep their farms going. So because the price is so low, dairy farmers are going out of business. And it was talked about on the radio the other day, and this big business type guy came on with his really posh sounding voice, and he said that when these companies are trying to push the price, like are going to the farmers and trying to push the price of milk down, the farmers should be trying to push it back up again. Well, that's all well and good, but Mr. Big Businessman, if someone comes up to you and says, we want to buy it at 20 pence, and you can't afford to sell it to them at 20 pence, and you refuse to sell it to them at 20 pence, they're going to go, well, fine, fuck off then, and they're going to go find someone who will sell it to them at 20 pence. You see? So Mr. Pompous, this businessman with the posh voice, knows fuck all about what he's talking about. And personally, it seems that the only way they're going to sort this problem out is if all the farmers in this country band together, form some kind of union, and come up with some kind of average price across the entire country of how much they're going to sell their milk for. But that would cause one other problem, or could possibly have the probability of causing one other problem, and that is it would be cheaper then to import milk from other countries. So then instead of having milk from our English dairy farms, we would have milk from whatever other country, which means our dairy farmers will still go out of business. It seems either way, British or English or whatever you want to call them, dairy farmers are getting a raw deal. And quite a lot of people who wrote in, or texted in, to the radio program while I was listening to it, said that they would happily pay more in supermarkets than that for their milk if they knew that a large bulk of that profit, or even half of the money they pay, goes to the dairy farmer that produced it. And there are still some people out there in the country that get their milk delivered to them, and it costs them 4 times as much to have their milk delivered to them than it would cost me or you in England to go down to your local supermarket and buy a pint of it. It costs them 4 times as much, whereas it would cost us 25 pence a pint in a supermarket. It's costing them about 80 pence a pint to have it delivered. And they are quite happy to pay that because most of that money goes to the dairy farmer. So a brilliant idea will be to have a set amount of how much how far down a supermarket can go with the price of milk, just to set like a boundary, and then impose importing costs on them so that they can't find it cheaper anywhere else. And that's the only two ways that you're going to stop dairy farmers in this country going out of business. Because then that means that supermarkets are having to pay a decent amount, not a too much of an amount, but a decent amount at least, for the milk in this country. And if they decide to try and get it cheaper elsewhere, they're going to have to pay importing costs. And that would be a good idea, because then that would make them refrain from importing large quantities of milk because of how much it's going to cost them to import it. And plus, not a lot of people in this country are going to want to drink imported foreign milk, especially in the category fresh milk. I mean, we've already had the fresh fish argument with Grimsby, because a lot of the fresh fish that you buy that says fresh from Grimsby isn't actually fresh from Grimsby anymore. It's freshly caught and then taken to Grimsby and then delivered to wherever it goes. So it's not exactly fresh from Grimsby, it's fresh from somewhere else taken to Grimsby. So it's fresh from somewhere else to Grimsby, technically. But they already had that argument a few years ago, so now they've got the milk argument. I mean, personally, when I used to buy a pint of milk for 50p, I used to think that was cheap, really. And that's way below the amount I'd expect to pay, really. But even at 50p, and if most of that is going to the farmer each time, then that should be fine. Because the supermarket or whoever it is don't need to make a massive profit on milk, do they? Because they already have such a high price than anything else. And by comparison, going along the same sort of products, the price of milk has gone to virtually fuck all, but the price of cheese has doubled over the last couple of years. So why don't they just lower the price of cheese back to what it was, raise the price of milk back to what it was, and leave it as it is? Because I'm not happy paying 20p for a pint of milk. I'm paying like £5 for a block of cheese about this big. I'm not happy underpaying for one and overpaying for the other. I'd rather pay the right amounts for each thing. I mean, milk in this country at the moment costs less than bottled water. But yeah. So next time you, people in England, I'm aiming this at you. I don't know what it's like in other countries at the moment, but the next time you people in England go to buy some milk from your local supermarket, buy the slightly more expensive one, because then, well, what I would say it would help the farmer more, but it probably wouldn't, would it? Because they've already been given the money for the milk. I don't know what I'd suggest you do, really. Either way, you'd probably still be doing something wrong. Because if you bought more expensive milk, you're just giving the fucking supermarket more profit off it. And if you buy a cheaper one, well, then you just, you're as bad as the fucking company in the first place. Buy a medium price milk, and or better still, have it delivered from your local dairy farmer, rather than getting it from the supermarket in the first place. Pay that little bit extra and ensure that dairy farmers in this country can actually continue to be in business. Otherwise, you'll be drinking foreign milk all the time, whether you like it or not. And for those dairy farmers who have already gone out of business or will be going out of business towards the middle of this year, I'm sorry, really. I mean, obviously there's nothing I can do about it as a single person, but I can put the word out like I have done like this, and try and get as many people as I can to take notice. But yeah, when you go to buy food shopping and that, just think about the people who produce what it is that you're buying and make sure that they're actually getting a good deal out of it. Or at least a decent deal, out of it. Because at the moment, they're not. And if you can't afford to keep your business running, then your business is screwed, isn't it? And it has a trickle-down effect. But yeah, as always, any comments you wish to raise about this very weird subject, feel free to let me know. And if you find any other products out there that are either very overpriced or very underpriced for whatever reason, and so either way someone's getting a raw deal, feel free to whack that in the comments. I know Co-op's Fair Trade chocolate is a bit of an issue at the moment, and quite a lot of chocolate is actually at the moment. But that's another matter entirely, and I don't want to get into that in this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.